Oh, shoot. All right, guys. I think I unwittingly started streaming. We are here in Punta Cana in the Dominican. This is as far as we made it last time. We actually made it this far twice before the stream crashed. Hey, Anil, how are you? I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrectly, but welcome aboard. Um, so we are in the Dominican. We're gonna do. I set up here with some with live weather. I was kind of hoping to be able to do that, but no chance today, unfortunately. Hey, Heiko, how are you doing? Good to see you. Um, early morning for you. Um, Mark, how are you? I believe I am, but I'm not 100% sure to be honest with you. And I don't know if I can check it without restarting the flight. Let me see if I can change it somehow, because I don't know if I am, to be honest with you. Nah, I can't change it with this. Um, I don't think I can. I don't think I can change it. And I'm probably actually not connected to multiplayer. If you guys want me to, I can restart in multiplayer, given that we haven't done anything. So let me do that because I know I'm not in multiplayer now that I think about it. Hey, Anil, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Welcome. I'm glad to have you aboard. So let's go. I've got hopefully. I gotta redo this. So this is a weird plane to get the weight and balance correct. It's very kind of tricky. So let's do that, and then let's come over here and let's go live players. Um, of course, I think if I'm on live players, I have to be live weather, correct? Or no, let's just go all players, and we'll go custom, preset weather. I don't want live weather because the live weather is not good right now. Let's go few clouds. And I'll leave the time where it is. All right. And I'm going to start right here, ramp 5 north. And now yeah, Mark, should be good to go. Should be good to go. I'll eventually get this figured out. I had to change some settings before because I had the Holy Grail settings set up, which of course I can't use while I'm streaming. But now we should be good to go. All right, Heiko. Nice, 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 nice. Let's get some group flying in. So, what I'm gonna try and do is go back and check out the monument that we were looking at before the sim crash the other day. All right, so um, gotta fidget in my chair here for a second. Uh, Heiko, I'm usually on the U.S. East server. Um, and Chris, I hope so. I really hope so because um, I've got some. I really want to be able to do shared cockpit flights. How do I check? Hey, Jason, what's going on? How you doing? Um, Mark, if you can tell me how from in here I can see which server I'm on, I think I'm always on US East. I'm always on US East, as a matter of fact. I don't think it makes any difference. All right, didn't mean to turn that on. Let's go rotating beacon on, mixtures. Oh, guys, I've done it again. Yeah, I've done it again. Let's get our controls set up. I was flying the ATR yesterday. And clearly that's not going to work today. Boy, oh boy, it's a good thing you guys are patient. I hope they make these drop down in 2024 because it's such a pain. I have no idea which way, which I've got so many profiles set up. No idea which one is which direction to go. So we'll go Bernardo. How are you, sir? Go to my name. Let's see. Okay. We are on East USA. That's what we're always on. Awesome. I have learned something today. Mixtures and props. Well, gentlemen, Bernardo is one of our awesome freeware sim developers in the Caribbean. He's also an avid flight simmer himself. You guys should check out his channel. He's got lots of great videos flying around the Caribbean. All right, we'll go mags to left. Let's crack the throttles. Jason, you bet. I almost did that today, as a matter of fact, but I just didn't get time. Right prop rather is clear. Right start is good. Manifold pressure good. Oil pressure is good. Left engine is clear. Good start. Oil pressure is good. Let's go mags to both. Close the starter cover. Fuel pumps coming off. Check our fuel pressure. Fuel pressures are good. Lean the mixtures for taxi. Avionics master coming on. Nav and strobe lights coming on. So we are good to go. Let's see here. What's everybody doing? FlowPro is a good app. Uses widgets. That's really good news, Cyberdomi. I didn't know that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get out of here and head westbound. And there is our first point of interest. Uh-oh, we're moving. Alright, so I'm not on VATSIM, so I don't have to worry about making any radio calls. Bernardo, I am doing very, very well, sir. I've had the flu for like a week, and I'm feeling much, much better today. And actually, it's starting to warm up here too, which is really nice. I'm in New York, and it's gorgeous out today. Just absolutely beautiful. Cyberdyne, I've heard about that app. I just never really looked into it very much. Well, I don't know why my flaps are full down. I don't think I did that. So we will set our altimeter the lazy way. Let's have a look around here, make sure we're not cutting anybody off. Let's see what we got here. If we have any of our fellow pilots here. All right, Mark, nice. I'll wait here at the hold short line just for a second, and give you a chance to catch up. Have a quick look at Plata and see there's nothing. Oh, okay, I see. That must be. There is somebody here in a 737 in Plata, and there's some traffic here. All right. Alright, we are holding short. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, Sim's looking really good. I was gonna get going here. So let's see, flaps are down. Let's go fuel pumps on. Mixtures and props full forward. I was really hopeful about Sim Update 15. The funny thing is, I haven't had any problems in betas in a long time, like in a good while. I mean, the last one, Sim Update 14 beta, the problem was that you had it reset all your realism settings every time, which was kind of annoying. But I mean, it was that you can live with. You can't live with crashes to desktop. You can't fly with it. So, all right, heading indicator checks with the runway number. Takeoff power is coming in. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed is alive. 60 knots. 65. And rotate. Nice smooth departure. Real pyro. There's probably a story behind that. I'm kind of a pyro myself, actually. I love starting. I love fireplaces. Not a real pyro, no, like a bad pyro. Alright, we'll pull the props back to 25. Manifold pressure back to 25 inches. And we'll make our golf course turnout here. Looking good. Looking good. Pretty, isn't it? I've done exactly no flying in the Dominican Republic. Exactly no flying. Alright, trim for 90. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Mark, once I get myself squared, I'm gonna level off at 1,500 feet. Once I do that, I can have a look at Atlanta and find out where you are. Oh, okay, I see you right there, taxiing. Yeah, perfect. So this is kind of hazy for not live weather, isn't it? Is it just my imagination? At 1,000 feet AGL, we'll turn the fuel pumps off. Fuel pressures are good. See Mark departing right over here. Flaps. I was wondering why it was so easy to hold 90 knots, and I should realize it's because my flaps are down. Bring the props back to 23, manifold pressure back to 23 inches, and we're looking good. Looking good. I'm off here, at least try to. So, we did this the other day. Did this the other day, and we crashed right as we got to our first point of interest. Get some aileron trim here. And we did successfully find our first point of interest, which is, our first point of interest is the Cathedral of Our Lady of Altagracia. So, and this airplane does not want to stop climbing. I do, however. I don't know why it insists on being so touchy in pitch, but it is. It definitely is. It just does this nose up, nose down, nose up, nose down. So I think we're heading in the right direction. So I did get out in the ATR yesterday, which is a lot of fun. I tried Sim Update 15 twice yesterday. Both times it crashed, and I was kind of hoping, since it was a Tuesday, that they would maybe release a beta update, but they didn't, and I just said, you know what, forget it, because I want to be able to fly. I want to be able to do this. Like I can't make videos and I can't fly if the sim is crashing all the time. Therefore, I have to I just have to get out of the beta, so that's what I did, unfortunately. But I talked a little bit in the video that I made yesterday. So there's this kind of, if you read about Sim Update 15 beta online, you will hear a lot of people saying that the ground contact model is only for the 172 and it doesn't apply to the other aircraft, and that is not true. It absolutely applies to the other aircraft, and I mean, you can tell by flying. It's simple. You can absolutely tell by flying in the sim. And the new ground contact model is phenomenal. No more of the rudder dance where you've got to be really, really careful because, you know, you know, it's so twitchy, it's so sensitive. Sim Update 15 is lovely. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it all the way to Puerto Plata before the sun goes down, but fortunately there's a couple other airports up towards the northwest. Look at your 3 o'clock. I go. I don't. Oh, there we go. Friend request. If I can't accept that right now, I always click on those, and sometimes it'll accept them, but if I can't right now, if it doesn't accept it right now, I'll accept it when flight's over. Bernardo Heiko, I don't see you, but that doesn't mean you weren't there. That's definitely marked behind me. Alright, we're getting a little sideways here. Cool. So this is where our first point of interest is going to be. And I find it fascinating, like how agricultural so much of the land is in the Caribbean. It really is kind of interesting. It's weird for me because when I go to the Caribbean, I usually almost always go to Anguilla. And Anguilla is a rock. It is literally a rock. There is no farmland on Anguilla. So it's just kind of funny seeing like all these fields. I think it's so neat. Cool, Heiko. See if you can get over this away. Can you see me, Heiko? No, I don't think, Chris, I don't think they approved it and then denied it. I just think people don't read them. I just think people have read the notes differently than I interpret them. I mean, even if I had never read the notes, like I would have noticed right away that there's a difference. Oh wait, am I going to the right place? No, I can see it right there. See it right there. It's going to the wrong village here. But if you read the notes, they list like a couple different things in bullet points, and I think people are assuming that because they mentioned the new soft tire, whatever that is, thing for the 172 in the Citabria, that they mean all the ground handling updates are only for those two airplanes as well. And I mean, and it's, if you talk to anybody, you reach from anybody who was in the beta, like people were talking about how much better the 737 handles on the ground. I mean, it's completely noticeable when you're in Sim Update 15. I'm gonna bring the power back here just a little bit and get down lower so we can see our pointing it lower and slower. Bring back to 19 inches. It's noticeably different, the ground handling, and just way better. Hey Andrew, how you doing? Jason, the more the merrier. So it's funny, we've got like a good 500 pilots now for Caribbean Virtual, and of course not everybody's active, but I mean we keep getting sign-ups, and it's fantastic. I love it. I mean, it's my favorite VA. It's not my favorite VA because it's mine. It's just my favorite. I just love Caribbean Airlines. It's like there's nothing cooler than having a call sign Caribbean, as far as I'm concerned. So right in front of us, that's our call sign. Yeah, and Chris, that's one of the reasons why I've stuck away from tail draggers in the sim. I mean, you can barely keep a tricycle gear airplane on the ground, straight on the runway. How I just can't figure out how. Like, there's some great tail draggers, like that one you mentioned. I've actually flown in a Waco in real life. What an airplane! What a really cool airplane. And here is our first point of interest. How cool is that? Let's see if we get a better view of it here. How cool is that? So, we're scud running here. Let's bring some power in. We'll do a nice circle here. That was a really cool. So I'm gonna head up in this direction and just go fly up along the coast and see what we find. See what we find. There are. I'm gonna do a little higher than 1500. I'm gonna do. Let's go 3000. That's cool. There it is again, right there. These points of interest are really pretty neat. We're going back to 2500 on the props here. Enzer, how are you, sir? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Bombasso, hello. We are on multiplayer today, Bombasso. We got Heiko's with us. Mark's flying with us. So anytime I need to like get it drilled into my head to make sure I'm on multiplayer. each time, which I eventually will. Alright, so I think we gotta go, let's see. Yeah, we gotta go northwest, don't we? So, we gotta climb here, boys. Yeah, Mike, I flew in one in Key West, actually, Key West, Florida. Heiko, I am just north of the city there. Just barely north of the city. And heading northwest. I'm gonna head towards, I guess we're gonna have to keep climbing here, it certainly looks like. I'm gonna head towards, I'll show you here in a second on the map. I'm gonna head towards this area right here. So if you want to try and follow. The Beach 18, that's another sweet airplane. That's another one I really wanna check out in the sim. Beach 18, the Beach Staggerwing, I think is a cool airplane. Yeah, Mike, that's the thing, is I think with the ground handling the way it is, at least up until now, it's not very easy to fly tail draggers. I'm gonna start leaning it out here. Bombasso, good stuff, man. I try to post the stream times as far in advance as I can, so you guys can make plans. I think I'm gonna head forward. I think we'll do 4,500 feet, because it's mountainous around here. I think the greens in this sim look amazing. Like the green colors. I just think that looks fantastic. I just think that looks fantastic. So we're gonna try a heading of about 330. Yeah, Heiko, that should work. What aircraft are you flying? It's presumably faster than mine. Most things are. The Denark mod, that's for the Beach 18. Because I mean, the Beach 18 is it's just stunning. It's just a stunning airplane, and the Staggerwing. G Willis, hello from London, UK. Awesome to see you, man. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, Andrew, you're probably right. It's probably a little bit too green for the islands, but it just, if you look at like the definition in the, like, especially in the hills and stuff. Okay, you're in the Islander, Heiko. Awesome. I just think it looks great. I just think it looks really good. Alright, 4,300 coming up on. Lean in the mixtures as we go. I'd like to make it to Puerto Plata, but I don't know if we're going to. Now I gotta find. There's 4,500. That's certainly gonna do us good. Bring the props back a little bit, manifold pressure back. And Brew Pilot, how are you? Welcome back, sir. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So, I think, Mike, I think the Islanders, I think the planes are gonna work just fine in the sim update, in sim update 59. They're gonna be just fine. Let's see here. See if I can find where that next point of interest would be. Okay, I got it. So basically, where am I going? It'd be good if I went like in one particular direction. No way, Cyberdummy. County Fermanagh? Am I saying that right? Northern Ireland? So I was, what was I watching? Oh, I was watching Bloodlands on, I don't know if you know that show. It's set in Northern Ireland. It's really good. I was watching that while I was sick the other day. That's actually someplace I'd really like to see. I'd like to see Northern Ireland. I'd like to see. I spent the summer in college in Galway, Ireland, Republic of Ireland. But I would love to see Northern Ireland. So I'm sort of randomly not going in the direction that I want to be. And I'm still climbing. Fermanagh, okay. God, that's got to be beautiful. That's got to be beautiful. I will. We have family from all over that area. Family in Scotland, family in London. We have family in Ireland. We have family all over the British Isles. Gorgeous part of the world. For VR. I've never tried VR. Never tried VR. Yeah, it's amazing. It amazes me, Mike, like where everybody's from, you know? It amazes me. Good stuff. Good stuff. So the next point of interest is sort of like in here. You can see that. Sort of like in here. And then the next one beyond that, as a matter of fact, I think they might be in the same. They might be in the same city. I think they are in the same city. And then, with any luck, depending on what the winds are doing, we might get to Puerto Plata. Oh, nice, Cyberdummy. That sounds awesome. Yeah, you know what's funny is that I've lived in a lot of different cities and states. I've lived all over the U.S. I've lived in Europe. You know, done a lot of traveling, but there's just something about and I've always tried to figure this out. Like, there's just something that will never change about like the connection you feel to where you grew up. You know, there's just and there's no reason for it. Like, why should we be? I mean, I guess emotionally, but like, and people too, like people that you knew, like, you know, what, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and you haven't seen, but because you grew up with them, they like hold a special place in your heart when you see them again. You know, it's just funny how life works that way. It's funny how if you're going west when you mean to be going northwest, you're not going to get to where you're going. That's funny too. But let me see how check my mixtures a bit more. And there's the reverse of EGTs. We'll push these back in just a little bit. That should be good. That should be good. I want to check out County Fermanagh. County Fermanagh. Oh yeah, that looks so beautiful. So Cyber, I mean, I'm looking on. Oh, that's probably gorgeous. I'm looking on Google right now. It might be crashing. Nope, not crashing. That's good. One more aileron trim here. Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful place. Mombasa, the only reason, yeah, exactly. Go in the wrong direction. The only reason I don't do VR is like because I do with more like I think for VFR it's tremendous, and I might be wrong, but I think with when you're dealing with like more complex airplanes, it's kind of difficult, no? And like navigating around the cockpit, turning buttons, flipping switches, that sort of stuff. That's the one thing I think might not be as good in VR, but I'm sure the immersion is unbelievable. Get a little bit of cloud time here. Oh, that Renwood Square airspace. You know, it might be. It might be. It might also be just a glitch from. I can check, as a matter of fact, on Navigraph charts. Gosh, it is beautiful out here. This is a big island. Yeah, VR is more difficult than IFR. That's what I figured. And I'm doing right now what my instrument instructor used to yell at me for. Tolerating deviations. If you're supposed to be flying at 4,500 feet, fly at 4,500 feet, not 4,300 feet. And if you want to be heading 030, or 300 in this case, fly 300, not 270. Pretty sloppy flying for me today. Alright, Cyberdyne, I'm going to check that out. Alright, 300, 4,500 feet. That's what we're aiming for. Let's do some good flying here. Yeah, Jason, it's funny because in a lot of ways I do too, but for the for the 737 and the ATR, I suppose you could map everything, that's the whole point, right? With the Bravo, but there's just so much to do, and I know there's like a way to like grab things and flip switches, I think, but. "4K Aviation, I am using the FrameJet mod." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's funny because all it really does is smooth things out. It just makes it very smooth. Very, very smooth. The Inniskilling Fusiliers. Let's see here. And see, now I'm doing the opposite. I was at 4,300 feet, now I'm at 4,700 feet. Mike, it's funny. I've never had any issues with the screens. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right though. They did mention something about the screens. I forgot about that. I guess when we talk about screens, I'm always thinking about ghosting, like that sort of thing, which I've never had. I've never really had an issue with. So yeah, I don't use Bombasso. I don't really use the Bravo to the full extent of its capabilities in any airplane, really. I mean, I used to use it quite a bit when I flew the TBM. You know, like altitude, but the altitude knob and heading knob and stuff like that. But I really tend to do most things just, especially because Track IR5 makes it easy to go like this and easy to go like that or whatever, in whatever airplane you're in. That's kind of what I tend to do. It's kind of what I tend to do. In the 737, I have, in the 737 and the ATR, I have buttons set up. Like button 1 always looks up to the overhead, and then button 2 always looks down to my console, like so I can just hit those buttons and be looking right where I want to be looking. Certainly doesn't look like we're in the Caribbean right now, does it? I love the tips, the prop tips on this plane. I think they look so cool. Yeah, Bombasso. Hey, Ray, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, I was actually wandering around the store the other day, and I wandered in front of their tech stuff, and they had what's the VR headset from Facebook, from Meta. I forget what it's called, but it was sitting there, and I was curious, I mean, not, and that is a restricted area, by the way. That's square. So this square, that's what I kind of thought it might be if it was anything. It's a restricted area. Doesn't really say. Alpha restricted, ground to 3,000 feet. Yeah, so restricted areas. I know, like, restricted areas, I mean, we weren't in it anyway because it's 0 to 3,000 feet, so we were clear of it. But restricted areas, I don't think you need authorization. I should know this. The Quest 3 Enzer, you're right. Hey David, how are you? What's going on? Kevin47. Everybody's here now. Yeah, restricted areas, I don't think you need clearance into a restricted area. I think you just need to be aware that you might encounter something that could rearrange your aircraft. I think restricted areas have to be hot too, in other words, they have to actually be doing something. It's usually military training in order for them to really care. But yeah, for everybody just popping in, we left out of Punta Cana. We're heading over. We saw our first point of interest over here. We're gonna head up. There's some points of interest right here, and then we're gonna see if we can make it to Punta Cana or to Puerto Plata. See if we can See if we can make it that far today. Hopefully, because otherwise I might have to do an off-field landing or something. I have never, Brew Pilot, I've never been to Haiti. It is someplace I'm always interested in seeing. You know, I'm really curious about Haiti. Obviously, right now it's, we have some friends from Haiti that don't live there but have family there. But I think it would be a really neat place, and I hope that not only for my for my desire to go there, but I mean I hope things settle down there and get safe for the people who live there. It's I can't imagine living with that kind of craziness that they deal with. But it's someplace I've always been interested in going. Somewhere I've always been interested in going. And I think that so the next spot should be kind of right in here off the end of this little outcropping there. But yeah, Haiti is a place I've always been interested in going. Getting a little bit of the yo-yos here now, the airplane. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Quest 3, okay. The inside out tracking. What's that, Mambaso? I'm not familiar with that. Toast. Yeah, I've never been to the Dominican. We have friends, or I don't know. We call everybody friends in America. Other parts of the world they would call them acquaintances. We have acquaintances with property there. But I've never been myself. Oh, the red livery, yeah, Heiko. So I was flying with my friend Captain Hughes the other day, and he had a red livery as well. Ah, who's that right over there? There's somebody. Is that you, Heiko? Jason, I'm just looking at a monitor. I mean, but I've got the Bravo and the Alpha and all that fun things. My home setup is, I mean, it's not too bad. I see some guys with some crazy stuff. The one thing about like some of these really interesting setups, and there's some. That's either going to be Heiko, or it's going to be Mark right over there. But the one thing about like the crazy home cockpit setups is that they tend to be only for one airplane, and that's the only thing. It's the only reason why I wouldn't necessarily do something like that. Hey, somebody coming up on me. That's the only reason, because I like flying different airplanes. Yeah, Chris, their Spanish is pretty strange. My girlfriend's Venezuelan, and they, it's interesting. Spanish is. So I speak German and Dutch, so, and it's dialects can run pretty wild, and Spanish is the same way. Like I only spend, I can speak a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of French. But all the people that I know that speak Spanish, it's all Latin American Spanish. Kevin, been doing well. I appreciate that, man. I was sick for a while. Like, it's weird. My girlfriend got sick like 2 months ago, and I didn't. And then I got pretty sick last week, and she didn't catch it. So kind of odd, like two people in the same house, and one person gets sick, the other doesn't. But yeah, man, I'm feeling much better. Still not 100%, but very close, very close. So a lot of time to think when you're in airplanes. I follow, I have, like, on my personal Instagram account, I follow a lot of pilots, and there was one guy I was talking to a couple of years ago, during COVID. He had over 3,000 hours of solo IFR time. And he was like, dude, you gotta. It's like you just sit there thinking because there's nothing else to do. I mean, solo IFR for 3,000 hours. That's a long time. How much time is that? I'll tell you another cool. The thing I like about I'm not a big social media guy. I used to be, and then I realized it's social media can be. So 3,000 hours is 125 days. Social media can be very, confrontational and very unfriendly. I just got sick of it after a while. And the thing I really like about Instagram is because it's so visual. I mean, yes, you do make comments on things and whatnot, but I think because it's just so visual in terms of sharing things that you're interested in, that it's just so much more of like a positive environment, and you're not like you're only seeing things you're really looking for, right? And so like I've found some really just amazing aviation content on that. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of drivers, we're getting ready for golf season. Didn't play much golf last year. We gotta play some golf this year. I was too busy last year. I hate being busy. So I think actually SGO. I wonder where that. I bet you. Alright, what is the Santiago de los Caballeros Airport? I can find. Make sure I don't hit anything first. I can find this VOR. That's going to take us, I do believe, right to our destination here. MDST. Let's see here. Let's try this. MDST. And if nothing else, this will take us to. This will take us to the city where our next 2 points of interest are going to be. MDST, heading 305. Yes, please. No, that's not what we're looking for. GPS. And we'll dial in 305, and we are good to go. I just did some on-the-fly navigation here. All right, so heading to 305. Come right a little bit. Let me see here. So, Bombasa, where are you from again? So you're talking real-world flight training, the Stage 2 IFR? Because I know, like in what they call Part 141 schools here in the U.S., like more formal flight training schools. They do have stage checks and all that stuff. I did all my training just with a private flight instructor, like just one-on-one. Austin, Texas. Okay, yeah. So you must be in a like a Part 141 school is my guess, right? And by the way, it might be a good idea to put on my pitot heat. Do. That doesn't seem to want to come on. Unless I have it mapped to a button, which I do. I always want to put on your pitot heat in the clouds. Yeah, Part 141's cool. Yeah, they've definitely got their advantages, that's for sure. So it doesn't seem like this activated, does it? Oh, okay, there we go. Gauges on the left bottom panel. The engine instruments, yep, they work. They do indeed. So Bombasso, so you're doing your instrument rating now. Dude, that was my favorite part of flight training. I love instrument flying. Absolutely love it. And I tried, I got my instrument rating in 21, and I tried using the sim, which was prepared at that time. Well, it was prepared during the time that I was doing it. I tried using the sim for practice, and it was tough, but I mean, it's helpful. It's certainly helpful for scanning, keeping your scan going. Hey Hertz, how are you? Good to see you. Kevin, so I was talking more specifically about real world aviation stuff, but it's funny. I got looking the other day to see if I could find flight sim content on Instagram, and there actually is. There's quite a bit of good stuff on there. I don't think it really lends itself as much to flight sim type stuff, but there's some stuff on there. Hertz, I'm glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. Glad that you could join us. Yeah, Bombasso, I know. You know what's funny? So, I didn't fly a whole lot last year, like real world, and but I made sure I would go every make sure my currency didn't lapse, passenger currency, which tells you how little I flew. So I would go every 90 days and go do a couple takeoffs and landings just to make sure I didn't lose my currency. But I was absolutely amazed because I did a ton of sim flying last year. I mean, I do a ton of sim flying all the time, and I went and did. I hadn't flown in, I don't know, 80 days, whatever it was, and I went and took the Cherokee up. First landing was decent. Second landing was absolutely dialed in. I mean, just completely dialed in. I mean, I could you know, make any adjustment I needed in terms of altitude or speed, descent rate, anything I needed to get my spot. I mean, it was like, I mean, honestly, I tell people like, and like flying real airplanes is easier than flying sim airplanes. It really is. Um, but I could not believe how how little rust I had after not having flown for almost 3 months. I mean, it was amazing. So anybody who says sim flying doesn't, I mean, I think I don't know if sim flying is a good training environment per se. I'm sure it is, but if you know what you're doing and you just fly sim for practice, it'll keep you sharp. No question about it. No question about it. Yeah, it hurts for sure. The days you get but the days you get IMC in the Caribbean, it is IMC. It looks pretty windy in St. Martin today, actually. Looks pretty windy in St. Martin today. But yeah, I think I mean it's ridiculous how far Sims have come. What we're using, like that we can sit there. I mean, look at this. This is. I'm sitting in my house right now. It's unbelievable. You know, it's crazy to me. Like how good the Sims are right now. Hurts. It definitely does. It definitely does. So I was in the Sim Update 15 beta for like I don't know 4 or 5 days, and and the ground handling was so much better, so much better. The only reason I dropped out of the beta is because it kept crashing, and I couldn't do this. But once the next beta update comes out, I'm sure it's gonna be fixed, and I'll get back in it. Yeah, Mike. So when I was growing up, my dad had a Piper Cherokee 235, and we used to go every weekend. We go flying, and yeah, I took my first flight in a Piper Cherokee on my first birthday. You know, so I've been around Cherokees for a long time. Yeah, Jason, absolutely. You know, I think especially in flight training, uh, being a chart junkie is a good thing. Like you can't have too much. Getting a left crosswind here. You can't have too much knowledge of charts. You know, be it approach charts, even VFR charts. Especially if you're doing your private pilot. There's some neat little things on charts that when you go for your check ride, if I'm convinced if you can, your examiner knows pretty quick, kind of your general level of knowledge. If you can impress them with some chart stuff, I think that goes a long way. Yeah, Mike, I did. I did indeed. I had to. There was no. Yeah, it hurts, dude. I might be going down. As a matter of fact, we might be going and staying in Grand Cass in August and September for like 2 weeks. And if I do that, dude, I am gonna hit you up, and I would love to go rent that 172 and go bob around a little bit if you want to do that. That'd be so much fun. I think the clouds in the sim look amazing. I think the clouds in the sim look awesome. Yep, Hertz, absolutely agree. You know, I haven't flown an instrument approach. I need to do an instrument proficiency check because I don't have 6 approaches in the last 6 months. But I mean, I do so many approaches in the sim that it's gonna be like riding a bike. That's one thing I really want to do is I really want to do some more flying this year. Really want to do some more flying this year. Yeah, Bambaso, I totally agree. I think you know, when I first started private pilot training, my instructor told me that the airplane is I won't use the word he used, but he said the airplane is a poor classroom. And I didn't know what he meant at that time, but I do now. It's so loud and it's so hot and it's it's there's so much going on, that you really kind of have to pre-plan what you're going to work on and then stick to that. You really can't. There's not a lot of discussion and fooling around, especially for private pilot training, because you're always doing maneuvers. Like you're always doing, you're rarely doing like cross-country training, and so you don't have a lot of time to just chit-chat and talk about things with your instructor. But in a sim, you can be doing approaches 1 minute and then turns about a point 2 minutes later. It's fantastic. Hurts, dude. I absolutely will too. So I have a buddy of mine, a couple of buddies of mine who fly down there, and I go every time we're down in Anguilla. We'll go out flying with my buddies down there. It's awesome. I would love to go flying with you. Yeah, it hurts. I'm actually, as I was saying that, I was thinking about that whole thing, and I'm actually a year out. So I do, and it'd be good for me to do an IPC anyway, just because it's been, it's been 2.5 years since I got my instrument. I like going out with different instructors, just because you get different perspectives on what you're doing, and you get to, see what they do and how they look at things. Jason, I don't think I did. I don't think so. I may have done it a long time ago and forgot about it, but I don't think I've done anything different with the clouds. I've always had clouds on Ultra because clouds for me is one of the things that I really want to have look good. Clouds are important to me because of this, doing this type of flying. This has actually been one of the more enjoyable flights I've ever done. This is awesome. I love flights like this. And there's trailing traffic, company traffic and trail. That's awesome. Yeah, Hertz. I take a different approach than I think a lot of people do to stuff like that. I think you should be able to fly to check ride standards anytime you go flying. Your check ride is to ensure that you meet the minimum qualifications, that you meet the minimum standards. And especially with instrument flying, you can't screw around. I mean, I don't want to be a decent instrument pilot, because decent instrument pilots get themselves killed. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather spend the time to do do some approaches with. I have a buddy that does. He'll fly. He'll sit right seat for me when I need approaches, and I'll do it for him when he needs approaches. And I'd rather do some approaches, do some book studying, make sure I'm up to stuff, and then do an instrument proficiency check and make sure that I know what I'm doing. Rather than just kind of be okay. And I think training is important. I think regular checks with somebody who you don't. I have a guy at our airport who's a very, very experienced pilot, and he's an instructor. I've never flown with him, and he's gonna do my IPC because I've never flown with him. Because I want to know, I want a fresh set of eyes at what I do. Yeah, it hurts. I mean, that's the one thing. The difference between sim flying and real flying is there are no consequences in sim flying. You know. Yeah, Kevin. I mean, absolutely. I think we tend to forget that with flying, like, especially. I mean, around here, like, I feel like I'm always flying in one extreme or the other. It's either cold or it's hot, and airplanes are not good at keeping you comfortable. At least mine aren't. I mean, I have a 1972 Piper Cherokee, and the air vents. It's like having a dog breathe on you. It's not. It doesn't really do much, Jason, 3080 Ti. It's 12 gigabytes of RAM. The 3080 Ti. Kevin, yeah, exactly. Man, it's weird because everybody who flies, like, people that ain't here no more, and I turn on my transponder. That's not good. And yeah, crazy. And not all of them are stupid or bad pilots. Some of them are really good pilots. Just had bad luck. That's what really makes me nervous. So what do you think here? I think we're getting pretty close. This looks relatively flat out here. So I want to bring some power out and start a descent here. Because, is that the city right there? If it is, it is. So let's see. I think one of the points of interest is like right over here. So, it's probably right down there in that village, I would guess. Let me see. Alright, I think that right here is a village. I think heading about 310 might get. Yeah, it's gonna be it right there. And then there is, let's see, the Sacred Heart of Jesus Church, which is a lovely sounding place. Yeah, it's gonna be up. So somewhere down here, in the middle of that village here, it's gotta be there. No, I betcha the one there's two points of interest. I think one of them might be right there. Hey, look at that. We got trailing traffic. Nice. And then, yeah, I gotta bring some power out here. And then the monument to the heroes of the revolution. Not sure which revolution, but that's okay. Let's see here. And I think that's going to be that right there. That's going to be our monument. Hey, Sugar Daddy, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining. Hertz, I think I've heard about that, yeah. Oh, this might be where the church is. And the city is a little bit further to the... Well, look at this. You can stick your head right out the airplane. How about that? Let me see. Let's see if I can find this church. Okay, Hertz. That's awesome. Man, you've got some awesome knowledge. I really appreciate it. So, let me see here. There it is. There's the church right there. You see it? How cool. That's beautiful. Look at that. Right off the cone there. I want to do a little circle here, come at it again. This is the Sacred Heart of Jesus Church. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's what's kind of wild about these points of interest is they're so small. Like you'd think they'd be these massive things that that would, you know, stand out. And they're just these. I find it really fascinating how Asobo went about finding these. El Bapino, how are you, sir? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. We are looking for the Sacred Heart of Jesus Church, which, let's see, where did I lose it? No, it's right here. Right there. We're gonna dive bomb the sucker. We really are gonna dive bomb the sucker if I don't be careful here. Whoopsie. Need some power. That is beautiful. That is really beautiful. You know, that they would take the time to put in such detail. It's just fascinating to me. Amazing. How cool is that? Alright, now our our airport should be somewhere over here. Our airport, which I know nothing about, including what the runways are. Nothing. Let me see here. Let me see here. It'd be good to know where I'm going. Oh, there we are. There's the airport anyway. I'd like to know what the airport elevation is. Runway is 1129. And let's see, airport elevation is Airport elevation is what? I have no idea. This is poor planning here, guys. Let me see here. What is this? NDST? Alright. Let's see here. Yes, NDST. Elevation 567 feet. Okay. And runway 1129, which makes sense because we are on a perfect downwind. On the wrong side for our downwind, probably, but I think this is where we'll park it today. I think this is where we'll park it today. Go a few pumps on. Do we see a windsock anywhere? Let me see. Kevin, I absolutely do, and I will share that with you shortly. Ed E, how are you, sir? Yeah, totally. Well, the funny thing is, Hertz, I'm trying to Google and fly and do turns around point at the same time. So this is a lost art, I feel. Nobody overflies the runway at midfield anymore looking for the windsock, but including us. We'll just, let's see, we're under 115 knots, so we'll put in notch flaps, and a few pumps are on. Turn my pitot heat off. That's a good idea. Alright, let's come around. We'll make a nice downwind here. And then our next flight will be over to let's see, Puerto Plata. Shouldn't be too far away, and then we'll just keep on trucking with that direction. I let the nose come down here a little bit. So, Kevin, University of North Dakota puts out a lot of free, really good aviation training stuff. UND, University of North Dakota. Believe it or not, that must be a brutal place to get your license. Holy crap! Talk about, I mean, they fly year round up there. And I mean, it's gotta be cold. All right, let's get back in the white arc here. Second notch of flaps. And there we go, 80 knots makes me happy. 80 knots makes me happy. Trim for that. Alright, mixtures and props full forward. How about that for an idea? And we get a little bit more juice here. Need a little bit more juice here. Alright, somebody is there. 80 knots. 80 knots is what we're looking for. Remember, always turn in too early. Always better to turn in too early than too late. Alright. There we go. I always feel weird not making radio calls. I'm so used to flying on VATSIM. Alright, flaps are set, few pumps on, mixtures and props full forward. We are doing well. We are doing well. Like my speed, too white, too red. Like it, like it, like it. No wind. Which means I better make a good landing. Alright, so power out. Power out. Power out. And power's all the way out. That one wasn't too bad. Then again, if you can't land in this kind of weather, you shouldn't be flying. Lean the mixtures. You know, it's so funny because whenever I fly somewhere, I always get if there's a payware airport available, I always get the payware airport. But I mean, as far as a completely stock airport, this isn't too bad. I mean, it's like got a good airport environment and a nice runway. Like you really can't ask for too much more for some random airport in the Dominican. It's not too bad. I wouldn't say. What do you guys think? Nice. There's the Islander right there. Is that you, Heiko? Fuel pumps coming off. Mixture's leaning for taxi. We'll go flaps up. So I gotta catch up with the. Yeah, Kevin, on YouTube they should have a good amount of good training information. University of North Dakota. It's a good place to start. That is sweet. Look at that livery right there. Look at that. We're gonna join right up on your side here. Join right up on your side. Your number is covered there, your registration, but it's probably the same registration as this one. Alright, toe brake set. Mixtures to idle cut off, throttles are idle, and there's a landing right there. Seems like a couple of landings right there. Who's that? Who's that? Oh, that's Heiko right there coming in. That's Heiko right there, so this must be marked next to me. That's two sharp looking airplanes right there. Alright, let's set the parking brake. Turn the lights off. Avionics master before you turn the mags off. Master and battery switches off. Let's open our doors. Let's get out the chocks and the boarding steps. This is looking sharp in here. I think I mentioned it in the last one, but if any of you guys who have never actually been in an Islander, and by the way, how you doing? Good to see you. It is tight. It's a tight cockpit. You're shoulder to shoulder with whoever you're in there with. Yeah, Kevin, Northern Canada. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That is brisk. That is brisk up there, that's for sure. There's Heiko coming along. Nice. This is awesome. So this is our first, pretty much our first group flight, I think, that we've successfully gotten some other people together. Mark, thanks, man. And Enzer. Yeah. I think you said you have like a 2-year-old, I think you said? Yeah, Mike, for sure, shake, rattle, and roll. But I tell you what, these things are, they're sturdy. They are sturdy airplanes. And, I love the Islander. I just think it's a great airplane. I think it's such a fun airplane. Here comes Heiko. Pulling in. Looking good. There he goes. That looks like an Aztec, maybe. But, well, I think that we successfully found the 2 points of interest. We'll find the next one on the next flight. And, but guys, hey, Cybernami, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And, yeah, Mike, you know what? Nobody back taxis. I'll tell you a story. So my home airport used to be a... Oh, Heiko, that's not you in the red one. Wonder who that is. But so my home airport in New York used to be an Air Force base, and they have The main runway is almost 12,000 feet long. And you call me crazy, I back taxi the whole thing. I mean, I not back taxi, but I'll use the entire runway. You know, I do some intersection departures sometimes, but I'd much rather have the full runway. I really would, even when a runway that long. You know, um, Hertz, is that you in the red one? Maybe that might be you. Um, oh, 6 month, 6 month old Enzer, man. God bless you. Ah, Enzer, that's you. That's great. That's fantastic. Heiko had to go around, so let's see. Do we see Heiko somewhere? Dude, I don't see you right now. But yeah, and you know, I tell you, like, I don't know, flying is definitely even. It's different than it even was 15 years ago. People's attitudes towards it. I think technology's changed it a lot. Um, and that's Hertz in the Islander. So that's going to be Hertz right there, and then that's Enzer right here. That's awesome. So cool. But yeah, Mike. Yep. Yeah. Nowadays it's back taxi. Um, but man, it was awesome having you guys aboard. This was a good one. This was a good one. Um, so let's say maybe probably Friday. We'll probably do a Friday afternoon. Uh, do a Friday afternoon flight, and we'll do it again on multiplayer. Hopefully they'll have maybe have Sim Update 15 squared away by then, and I'll be back in the beta. But we'll see. But guys, thank you so much. Mike, Hertz, Enzer, Elba, Pino, Sugar Daddy. I almost called him Sugar Baby, Sugar Daddy. Kevin, Ed, and you guys are great. Heiko, Cyberdomi, Mark, Enzer, you guys are fantastic. I really enjoy doing these flights. Chris, you as well. Thank you. Mark, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Um, Mike, if you can join Friday, uh, I'll try to maybe do it a little bit earlier, like maybe 3:30, but it'll be somewhere in there. Enzer, yeah, that's fantastic. Um, but guys, thanks again for coming out. It's a hoot. I really enjoy doing this, and glad to see all you guys again. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Sun's going down. Um, Enzo, thank you. You couldn't have had more fun than I did. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Ray, thank you. Gracias. Gracias, Ray. Um, Heiko, he's got us in sight. Man, I always think the dusk visual. Oh, there's Heiko right here. There's Heiko right there. That's awesome. I think the dusk visuals in the sim are freaking amazing. I really do. Some people are like, oh, it's too orange. I think it just looks awesome. Heiko, good to see you, my friend. Guys, Anil, thank you. Hey, I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. To everybody, I really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, let's say Friday 3:30. And so about a half hour earlier than we started this one. See if we can cover some more ground, and I'll post that relatively soon so that you can plan. And guys, thank you for coming out. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for making it so much fun. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And wish you guys the best. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Take care, everybody. Yeah, Heiko, yes. Yeah, we'll leave right from here. Take it point to point. So we'll call it 3:30 so that you can plan because I know you got to get up in the middle of the night. So, all right, guys. Everybody take it easy. Mark, be well. Take care, guys. Bye bye.